We are starting with a new section, section number 118 for the whole of Savitri in book 7, the book of Yoga, Canto 3. This section takes us into the country where Savitri sees life subdued by some other power. Earlier, she was there in her gigantic proportions. Both her majesty and her monstrosity were really great, frightening also. But now Savitri is seeing another aspect. She is entering into another region of the inner countries. Savitri could pass to the region of the giant head of life because she was carrying in her soul the image of the truth, the golden deity seated in her soul, and she was that way safe. There could have been the dangers of the valley of the watering gleam. She could have walked into the dangerous, intermediate zone, but it is the image in her soul which gives the necessary protection. Everything in her heart, therefore, becomes still, calm, mute, and free. She is free now from the influences of this life. Therefore, Savitri is now entering into another region of mind, of thought, and how it governs to a certain extent the impetuosity of life, subdues it, puts a kind of a rein on the speed. Then journeying forward to the self's wide hush, she came into a brilliant, ordered space. Savitri has entered into brilliant, ordered space. Already there is some organization, there is some control, there is some rule. It is not simply desire, ambition, impetuosity, emotion, passion. It's a driving anyone there. She came into a brilliant, ordered space. True, it is a brilliant space. It is an organized space. There is a rule of law. There is a rule of thought in this world which can to some extent mold the moments of life, shape the moments of life. This brilliant space may not be brilliant enough, but certainly it is brilliant to overpower life. In this space, in this brilliant space, there life dwelt, parked in armed tranquility. A chain was on her strong, insurgent heart. She has been subdued. She has been put in chain. Her violent heart, her passionate heart which will not accept any rule, her rebellious heart, which will throw away any authoritarian imposition on her, it is that which has gone down. And life is now chained, is subdued. She has to accept somebody else's rulings. They are lightweight parked in an armed tranquility. A chain was on her strong, insurgent heart. Tamed, she has now been kind of domesticated. She has become now a creature in the household, living circumstance. She is not in the wild forest. Tamed to the modesty of a measured pace, she kept no more her vehement stride and rush. It has gone. That speed, that impetuosity, that thrust, that surge, that has gone away. She kept no more her vehement stride and rush. She had lost the careless majesty of her muse. Whatever she could think, imagine, conceive, well, that has gone. She is not. It is not there now with her because she is chained. She had lost the careless majesty of her muse. Careless. She wouldn't care about the consequences. Whatever her heart desired, whatever she wanted to do, she could do, irrespective of the consequences. Now it is no more like that here. She had lost the careless majesty of her muse and the ample grandeur of her regal force. God were her mighty palms, her splendid waist, suffered the rebels of her beckoned to play. Cut down were the squanderings in desert's bazaar. Whatever she would like to spend in the bazaar, whatever wealth she had, she could squander freely. All her gains she could just give away without any feeling of loss, because she knew that she could claim them back, but now it is no more so. Cut down were her squanderings in desire's bazaar, coerce her despot will. Yes, I want this to be done. The despotism of life has now been curbed, has been forced to become calm and quiet. Her fancies dance, a cold stolidity bound the right of sense. That is what has happened to life now. She is no more. Stirred by passions, swayed by ambition. All that has gone now. A cold stolidity, that is what is now her nature. Bound the right of sense. She could do freely whatever she wanted, but now this will not happen here. Her spirit's bounds, they cast in rigid lines, so they have become now defined activities. This. Yes, you must do this. Not the freedom with which she was able to do or was doing until now, whatever she wanted, that has gone. Her spirit's bounds they cast in rigid lines. A royalty without freedom was her lot. She is great princess. But now that freedom of a princess is not there with her. She is bound to somebody's rules and laws. The royalty without freedom was her lot. For her now, No more the Roman holiday. That has gone. She has to remain in the palace. She has to follow the etiquettes, the manners, the ideas, the manners of living in a palace. She has to obey to certain ethics of life here. So she is no more now that who enjoyed the Roman holiday. Her spirits bounced, they cast in rigid lines. A royalty without freedom was a lot. The sovereign throne obeyed her ministers. She is a queen. She is the mistress of the house, but she has to now obey what the maids are telling her, what the servants are telling her. She is a sovereign, she is a queen, but she has to accept the advices of her ministers. Those who serve her, they have become her masters. The sovereign throne obeyed her ministers. Her servants' mind and sense governed her house. Who are the servants? Mind and sense. But it is this mind and it is this sense which is now governing her household activities. She has no more free control over her own house, this life. Her servants' mind and sense governed her house. Manas, that is mind. And from Manas, the five senses which come out, eyes, ear, touch, taste, sight, all these things which come out from there, it is they who are governing her actions. And guarded with a phalanx of armored rules, she is a queen. She should be looking after the army, be the commander of her forces. But it is they now who have become the rulers in a case. And guarded with a phalanx of armored rules. So the whole army, the array of forces, it is they who are guarding her. No, life, you cannot do this. You have to follow this. You must do this. This is the advice, and you must accept all that thing. And guarded with a phalanx of armored rules, the reasons balanced the reign, kept order and peace. Life is told, be reasonable. Don't be irrational. Don't be passionate. Don't be impetuous. You have to follow certain procedures and you have to govern everything by reason. So it is reason now which has put the chain around the neck of life. It is a kind of a leash by which she is controlled. Life. The reasons balanced the reign, kept order and peace. Her will lived closed in adamant walls of law. No more now that freedom. Walls have been constructed. Difficult walls to cross. Adamant, stiff. It cannot be easily broken. Adamant walls of law. Yes, these are the rules. You have to go. If you are a civilized creature, you have to follow the constitutional principles and accept them as a part of your activity. Coerce was her force by chains that feigned to adorn. It was as though she had put her chains around her, but these chains were actually not ornaments on her body. They governed everything of hers. Coerce was or force may change that faint to adorn. They look like ornaments, but they are not ornaments. It is like a beautiful bird full of spirit and freedom and all that and joy, who has been put in a huge, big golden cage. Yes, you are there. You cannot cross to the skies. You have to follow all your movements. Yeah, all your movements should be now in this particular space only. Her will lived close in adamant walls of law. Coerce was or forced by chains that faint to adorn. Imagination was prisoned in a fort. Her wanton and licentious favorite. Reality's poise and reason's symmetry was set in this place, sentineled by marshaled facts, the gate to the soul for throne, a bench of law. Yes, we have to go and sit here in this room of justice. We have to follow this law, bench of law, the gate to the soul for throne, a bench of law. For kingdom, a small world of rule and life. So that is the condition in which now life is restrained, our movements are constrained to certain rules and regulations, essentially governed by reason. The age's wisdom shriveled to scolious lines. She was carrying the wisdom, but now it is scholar who will rule, who will see the classics in a certain manner. And it is by that way of looking at things only life has to proceed. The age's wisdom shriveled to scolious lines, shrank pattern into a copybook device. This is the textbook. You have to follow according to this text. And you are totally governed by rules and regulations. You have no freedom now in that sense. There is a certain ethics, there is a certain kind of morality, there is a certain kind of rationality. It is that which life has to accept and proceed. The Spirit's almighty freedom was not here. What she had enjoyed until now, that freedom, it has gone. The Spirit's almighty freedom was not here. A schoolman mind had captured life's large space. So small mind, who is teaching to children, do this, do that. It is that which is now governing life. But chose to live in bare and paltry rooms, small rooms, inadequate rooms. It is there life has to dwell. Part of from the too vast, dangerous universe. No, you cannot go into that part. You have to stay around here. Fearing to lose his soul in the infinite, you cannot let yourself go into the infinite. You are confined now to this particular place. Even the idea's ample sweep was cut. You may have big ideas, but they have been now cut to small bits. Even the idea's ample sweep was cut into a system, chained to fixed pillars of thought, or riveted to matter's solid ground. This is the material reality. In the material reality, you have to go this way, this way, this way. We have no freedom at all. Or riveted to matter's solid ground. Or else, the soul was lost in its own heights. If you cannot accept matter's rule, get away from here and go elsewhere. Not here. As long as you are here, you have to follow the rule of matter. You may get lost elsewhere, but then the choices we made here. Either go elsewhere, forgetting about this, And if you want to be here, you have to follow matter's solid ground. You have to remain on matter's solid ground. Obeying the ideas high-browed law, thought-based throne on unsubstantial air, disdaining earth's flat triviality. It barred reality out to live in its dreams. The Spirit's almighty freedom was not there. This is what life has lost. She was free to do whatever she willed to do, whatever she wanted to do, whatever she wished to do. She had full freedom. But now there are constraints, there are restrictions, there are impositions of other types on her, and life is bound by some other elements in the movements. The Spirit's almighty freedom was not here. A schoolman mind had captured life's large space. So a small mind, an educative mind, is what is trying to teach life, do this, do this, do this. And she is kind of forced to follow those instructions of the school teacher. But chose to live in bare and pottery rooms, the wideness she had, the vastness of a spirit, the joy of doing whatever she wanted to do is no more there now with her. Parked off from the too vast, dangerous universe, fearing to lose its soul in the infinite. Yes, she would not mind to do dangerous things also, if that could lead her to the possibilities of the infinite in life. She would undertake every risk and do whatever she wanted to do, but now it is no more there. A school mind is curbing all her actions. Even the idea's ample sweep was cut. You can have wide ideas, you can make great imaginations, you can introduce idea forces into life. Ideas, for instance, Marxism is an idea, capitalism is an idea, and you can imagine how these ideas have molded a certain section of society, how they have become powerful in their social activities. Religions, they have ideas, they mold your psychology, your activities, your behavior, your interactions, everything. But even there, that wideness is no more now. There you see restrictions. Capitalism, yes, is good, but it has its own limitations. Communism, yes, it is good, but it has its own limitations. Religions, philosophies, literature, all these are big ideas, but then they follow in their given constraints. They don't have that wide sweep of effectuation in life. Even the idea's ample sweep was cut. There is an element of truth, a genuine element of truth in communism, but then that has been cut off from the truth, and therefore it has become, in a certain sense, a negative force. We have seen already in life, when you have an exclusive stress on communism, it collapses. The same thing is going to happen when there is going to be an exclusive stress on capitalism. It has to collapse unless it broadens itself, unless it encompasses the wider aspects of life into its philosophy, into its action. It cannot remain there forever. It is an experiment tried by nature for a certain purpose, produce certain results, and if you don't understand that, nature has no hesitation in throwing it away. It can happen. We have got ideas of free education, liberal thought, freedom of speech, but again there also you will see they are restricted. Unless there is the element of the spirit operating into those things, they cannot survive too long. They have a certain role to play. They play the role, bring the society to a certain point, and then the force which is there behind them is withdrawn and they collapse. In fact, that is exactly what had happened in the Renaissance, European Renaissance. The religious spirit had really flowered up and gave something very beautiful to society, something worthwhile, something enduring, something progressive. But the moment it became restricted, it had to go. The age of faith had to be replaced by the age of reason. Science came. Science has done miracles. We are still striving on the miracle of science. It is necessary. The idea of force which is there in matter's possibilities has to be fully explored. And what a magnificent creation we see in that idea of force. Matter flowering up to beautiful things. The present day world is a product of that idea of force. But unless it really makes a genuine progress, what is matter? What is its purpose there? Why it should exist in that manner? Unless the spiritual element, spiritual in the sense, the true truth which is there in the materialism, unless that is discovered, it will not flourish. In fact, the process of universal process of decay, disintegration, death will hold all these things. Science has done wonderful things. We have reached outer space. We can go into the depths of matter, see the minutest elements. But then finally, what is the matter for? Is matter governed by habits, by laws? Does it have its own potentialities to express something of its own quality of love, beauty, joy, truth? Whatever is there, is it able to express by itself? Unless that thing opens out, matter cannot stand there anymore. Matter was not created to be just an instrument. It is also there to express its own possibilities which are latent in it, and they had to emerge. And that is the driving force behind all these activities. So if we don't lend ourselves to these driving elements, we are not serving the true purpose. We are not really true scientists. We are not true philosophers. We are not true thinkers at all in that sense. We are not even following, in that sense, true religion. So even the idea's ample sweep was cut. Materialism has been cut off because the other extreme was lost. Into a system chained to fixed pillars of thought. Yes, this is what we have built up. Pillars of thought. This. And we stick to that. Or riveted to matter's solid ground. Or else the soul was lost in its own heights. That is the other extreme. Matter is unyielding, and therefore the free soul of man, the human aspiration, the human longing, human desire to be free, to remove all the bondages, tries to find out some way out. What does it do? It does a very simple thing. It rejects matter. Matter is binding me. No, I would not like to get bound by matter. I would like to be free of matter and go elsewhere. I will go to Himalayas. I will go to mountains. I will go to the countryside and live a quiet life of peace and joy and happiness for myself. That is what I will do. That is what the ascetic will do. So on the one extreme, you have the materialist insisting on matter. On the other, you have the ascetic rejecting matter and longing freedom elsewhere, not in this world. Then what is this world here for? The meaning of that word is missed. What is the soul there for? The meaning of that is missed by the materialist. That is how we cut all our ideas and thoughts into bits. There is no integrality of vision, of approach, of living. Or else the soul was lost in its own heights, obeying the ideal's high-browed law, thought-based throne on unsubstantial air. So this is what we do. We build up castles in the air. Basically, we build up houses using cardboards. That is what we do, and try to go elsewhere like that. Thought based a throne on unsubstantial air, disdaining earth's flat triviality. Earth is flat in the sense that there is no joy, there is no chant, there is no variation. It is only materialist view, and it looks trivial for the soul who is now aspiring only to the heights. It barred reality out to live in dreams. So that is what we dream now, and remain in our happy dreams. We search life towards that dream, push our life towards that dream, and try to fulfill ourselves in a dream reality, not in actual life. Now this is a dichotomy, this is a sharp division between matter and spirit. They cannot be extremes like that. There has to be a joining link, a harmonizing connection between these two, and it is obligatory for the true seeker of truth to discover that link. But the life which we have here at the moment is cut into bits, and we are not able to join these bits together. If this is not, then what happens? Or all stepped into a systemed universe. We have made organized life. We have got now windows opening into windows, opening into windows, and going from one door to the other constantly. That is the organized life. But it is such a digitized life that we immediately feel, yes, it's wonderful, it's beautiful, it is helpful, it brings me a lot of joy also, but ultimately I am living an artificial life. I am looking for artificial intelligence. That won't do for me. I am a living person. I have got my own urges to fulfill, and I must fulfill those urges. Digitized life, yes, it's useful, I can get connected to the entire world in a fraction of a second, in jiffy. I am here, I am there. Yes, it's true, but still it doesn't give me true satisfaction to my inner depth. There is a longing in my soul, in my heart, somewhere in my feelings. Something is missing here. Can there be something by which I get true satisfaction? That is the urge always there. Or all stepped into a systemed universe. Life's empire was a managed continent. That is what has happened now. And that continent has been governed by digitizing every bit of information. By controlling here. By a remote control, you can do whatever you like here. You can destroy enemy tanks. You can destroy enemy reactors, enemy weapons, just by controlling here. Life's empire was managed continent. Its thought an army ranked and disciplined. You have to do this. Otherwise the price you will pay is very heavy. Uniformed, they kept the logic of their fixed place. Obviously, at the bidding of the trained centurion mind. So what is that we are doing? We are following the orders of the centurion mind. Do this, do that. The CEO of the company tells you, you have to do this, and you work for 15 hours a day to perform that duty. This is what happens. Centurion mind. Now this word centurion mind is a very beautiful phrase. It also tells us how vast, how intimate, how in terms of its civilizational depth, Shivandu had known the history of the world, and whenever an occasion arises, he will use that information, that knowledge, that encyclopedic understanding of things which are there here. Centurion mind. Centurion is a person who is the chief of a certain part of an army in the Roman army. Centurion is one, he has under his command a certain force. He is a person who draws greater salary than a person who controls a legion. And it is he who is there. Now it is the centurion mind. Under him maybe 100 soldiers or 100 persons working him, or 100 operators, or 100 technicians, or 100 IT engineers, whatever you want to call him. They are working under him, and they have to obey him. They have to obey him. That is what life has become now. It has become systematized, organized. Do this, do this, do this, do this. If you don't do that, you are thrown out. You will meet the consequences. At the bidding of the trained centurion mind. So the image of the Roman army centurion is what is now employed here to see how the life forces are governed by certain elements here. If it is not that, then what happens? Or each stepped into a station like a star in the sky. You are here, you are there, you are there, like a star. Each one is positioned in its place. Or each stepped into a station like a star, or marched through fixed and constellated heavens. Yes, the galaxies are moving, the universe is moving, going from one place to the other constantly, like that. And you do that, you are forced to do that thing. Or marched through fixed and constellated heaven, or kept this feudal rank among the peers. You have got the whole hierarchy. You are supposed to sit here, sit here, sit here, sit here. You cannot go and occupy any chair you like. You are given a fixed position and you have to sit in that position. The protocol has to be followed, has to be strictly observed. You cannot just go and greet the queen. You have to follow a long procedure, even if you are granted the permission to meet her. You see, you have to follow the protocol. Or march through fixed and constellated heavens, or kept his feudal rank among his peers in the sky's unchanging cosmic hierarchy. So you have got suns, you have got galaxies, you have got planets. That's a hierarchy by itself, and you are positioned accordingly. See, in the feudal system, each person had his position and location. He cannot go and occupy anywhere. If the feudal lord is giving a feast, then on the table or in the row or whatever you want to call it, the positions are marked according to your position in the rank. You cannot just go and occupy any seat or any table like that, you see. It was like that. Centurion mind, the rank, the feudal system. It is how life has now got organized under the control of mind. Or like a hybrid maiden with chaste eyes, forbidden to walk unveiled the public ways. So a hybrid maiden, a girl who has been given a special kind of an education. She had to follow certain social etiquettes. In the Victorian age, they had to have certain type of clothes and robes. They could not wear anything they liked. The skirt must be of this length. The ornaments must be of this size. You must walk in this manner. Your steps should be like this. You cannot put that. Your shoes should be of a specified time. That is what the hybrid maiden was there. In fact, there were schools run in the Victorian period to train girls to follow certain social etiquettes. They were supposed to learn certain manners of society. They were taught mathematics, they were taught literature. They had to learn all these things. They were taught the correct pronunciation of words, language, speaking, styles, manners, saying yes, no, thank you, whatever is there. They had to follow certain etiquettes. They could not walk freely on the roads. They could not go to the bazaar and buy things like that. The bazaar would come to her house and give whatever she wanted. She could not go like that. So that was the custom. That is the hybrid maiden. So life has now become like that under constraints. Or like a hybrid maiden with chaste eyes. She cannot look here and there. She has to look straight forward against a person. Forbidden to walk unveiled the public ways. So she had to put on the veil and then only go to the public places if at all. In fact, even there also she would be escorted. There will be guards. There will be people around her, and she had to walk in a certain manner. She must in closed, secluded chambers move. Yes, this is the garden in which you move. You cannot go into the jungle, into this forest. This is the jungle. This is the swimming pool where you have to swim. You cannot go and swim in a public place like that. She must in closed, secluded chambers move. Her feeling in cloisters live or gardened paths. She had no personal freedom to behave the way she liked. This is what the hybrid maiden was during the Victorian period. Luckily now another freedom has come to us. We do not know whether that freedom is being used in the extreme sense. Freedom is there, of course, required, but we do not understand also the necessity of responsibility which has to go with the freedom. Liberty, it has to be there, but liberty also gets associated with responsibility. Freedom and responsibility, they had to go together. That we miss presently in our life. We are in the modern age, basically the post World War II age, a free society everywhere except in certain regions, and we can do whatever we like. We have gone to such an extreme that we have wrong ideas about ourselves. Freedom does not mean that you throw away your clothes on the road and walk. You have certain responsibilities, certain values of life, and those who don't recognize. That is another bad element which has come out here, and that is an element which is not rising out of the force of life. It is an element whose birth is in our mental ideas, mental perversions, mental formulations. We think freedom means I can do whatever I like. I can go to the market without my clothes. That is not really freedom. That cannot be so, you see. You have to cherish certain values which will lift you up and then do certain things. Now that is another element which has come, the extreme use of mind in life. That is another danger, and we have to face that danger also. Basically, we have to recognize one important thing, that what are we here for? If we understand that, if we recognize our own true self, true identity, if we find, and if we strive to achieve that, then it is for that purpose the freedom is there. It is for that purpose that all the means are provided to you, not take money and squander away in vitalistic desires, fulfilling ugly things. Not for that purpose. It is meant to generate new values. If you are not able to generate new values in life with the means available at us, with the possibilities that can be opened out by us, if we cannot do that, then we have failed. Possibly failed. But nature will not allow you to do that. She will throw you out. She has no special love for you if you do wrong things. Ideas had come and gone. They have served their purpose, and the moment the purpose is over, they are discarded. We have to recognize that and live in the true values. If we do that, then we have really fulfilled ourselves in life. Life was consigned to a safe, level path. It dared not tempt the great and difficult heights, or climb to be neighbor to a lonely star, or skirt the danger of the precipice, or tempt the foam-curled breakers' perilous laugh. Adventurous lyrist, dangerous amateur, or enter the chamber caught on flaming God, or leave the world's bounds where no limits are. Meet with a heart's passion, the adorable, or set the world ablaze with the inner fire. So this is again the description of life which has been consigned to rules and regulations and laws and customs and credos. She has to follow worldly etiquettes. She has lost all her licenses. There is a code and she must adhere to the code, consigned to the safe, level path. The spirit of adventure which is there in native life, that has been curbed. She has been consigned, restricted to do certain things in a certain manner. That freedom, that liberty, that license is no more there now with her. It dared not tempt the great and difficult heights that urge to bring down the higher powers of the spirit into life. That adventurous spirit is no more there now with her. She would not climb to the lonely star up in the sky. She would not skirt the dangerous precipice, the steep fall from which she would not mind jumping down. She has been restrained, she has been held back. You cannot take such a leap into the danger. The perils of life are now in a way forbidden to life. Or skirt the danger of the precipice, or tempt the foam curled breakers' perilous laugh. The rush of the waves on the shore, scattering foam, that has been now held back. Tempt the foam curled breakers, the waves breaking into spumes and foams on the seashore, that has been now suppressed. Adventure's lyrist, she could go around and sing whatever song of adventure she would like, but no more now that is possible for her. Dangerous amateur, she wouldn't care if there is a danger. If she wants to do something, she would do that irrespective of the perils and consequences. Or into a chamber call some flaming god. She would not now invite a flaming god in the chamber. She has no hesitation in calling anybody, but now that is not possible. Or into a chamber call some flaming god, or have the world's bounds where no limits are. Impossible now. Meet with the heart's passion, the adorable, the one whom she loves intensely. She is not now going to call him into a room, into her chamber, into a shrine, give him a place in her house. That is not possible now. Meet with the heart's passion, the adorable, or set the world ablaze with enough fire. That is the possibility of life. The impetuosity of life can kindle a flame in our heart, and the inner flame can rise to meet the higher flame. That is not there now possible. A chastened epithet, plain, perfect, pure, tempered qualification is what is there now in her language, in her delivery, in her movements, in her actions. A chastened epithet in the prose of life. So she has taken now a sedate path, prose of life. The impetuosity, the emotionalism, the zeal, the zest which is there in poetry, that lyricism which is there that is no more than now with her. She must fill with color just a sanctioned space. Yes, this is your space. This is the boundary in which you live, and you fill up only this space with this color, with this color, with this color. She cannot throw or dabble anything what she wants. Not break out the cabin of the idea. She has been confined to a cabin, fixed ideas, fixed thoughts, fixed ways of looking at things, and she has to go by that. Not break out of the cabin. She cannot break out of that fixed domain, fixed out of the cabin of the idea, nor trespass into rhythms too high or vast. So everything is narrow, limited, the rhythm, the moments, by the constraints now under which life is tied. Even when it's soared into ideal air, sometimes she takes a leap into idealism. Even then what happens? Thoughts flight, lost not itself in heaven's blue. It cannot go very high up. There is a limit as if to the flight of the thought. It can reach up to a certain point, but it cannot go far high above. Thought's flight lost not itself in heaven's blue. It drew upon the skies a patterned flower. So you have got a vast sky there, and you simply draw sketches and patterns on the sky there. You are limited only to that kind of a thing. It drew upon the skies a patterned flower, or disciplined beauty and harmonic light. Yes, there is beauty everywhere, but then she has to follow certain rules. She cannot do whatever she feels like here. A temperate, vigilant spirit governed life. Somebody is watching on her movements, vigilant, looking on her, above her actions, and tempering everything what she's doing. His acts were tools of the considering thought, too cold to take fire and set the world ablaze. That is not there now possible. Too cold to take fire and set the world ablaze. You can have great thoughts and ideas. You can arouse masses and set the world on fire. But that is not there now. All the careful reasons, diplomatic moves, so she will go from place to place in a very diplomatic manner, cautious, careful, measured tone, measured laughter, measured smile, all those things will be there on her face. Or careful reasons, diplomatic moves, testing the means to a prefigured end. This is the object in the diplomacy. This is what you would like to achieve, and you will go very cautiously, very carefully, manipulating all your movements, your thoughts, your ideas, your arguments to suit that particular thing. There is no freedom of speaking out what exactly you should speak. Testing the means to prefigured end, or at the highest pitch, some calm will's plan. Yes, there is a high will somewhere, but that cannot be implemented here now. Or at the highest pitch, some calm will's plan, or a strategy of some high command within. There is a high command sitting within you, but you cannot implement that strategy now. You see, to conquer the secret treasures of the gods, or win for a master king some glorious world. Yes, you would like to win a new world for your king, for your sovereign, but now there is a restraint there. Or win for a masked king some glorious world, not the reflex of the spontaneous self, an index of the being and its moods, a winging of conscious spirit, a sacrament. So everything has become a sacrifice now there, see. Or lies communion with the still supreme. So that is the relationship you can have with the Supreme. Or its pure movement on the Eternal's road. Or else the body of some high idea. A house was built, two close-fitting bricks. So you have got a fixed house now built brick by brick, and you are supposed to live only in that house. The freedom is lost. A house was built with two close-fitting bricks. Action and thought cemented made a wall. So your action, your thought, they have to join together and make a wall, and you're confined into that wall. Or small ideals limiting the soul. Even meditation mused on a narrow seat. You thought that you are meditating on great and high and noble things. It's no more that now. It is sitting on a small narrow stool and meditating small little things only. Your thoughts, your meditation, your consciousness does not rise much above your head, maybe a couple of millimeters, and that's all you see. Even meditations mused on a narrow seat and worship turned to an exclusive God. You like to worship, you like to adore somebody, but then you make this God, that God. You have got Vishnu, you have got Shiva, you have got Allah, you have got Christ, you have got something like that, and you can find everything only to that particular God. And worship turned to an exclusive God. So what happens now if you are a Bhakta of Shiva? You remain only a Bhakta of Shiva, and you do not see the qualities, the possibilities which can open out to you, which Vishnu can offer. You have become now exclusive Shaivite. You have lost the possibilities of being a Vaishnavite. That is no more there now. And worship turned to an exclusive God, to the universal in a chapel prayed, whose doors were shut against the universe. So you have got temple yard or chapel or whatever it is. It looks wide and wide, but it is shut out from the surroundings, from the outside. Whose doors are shut against the universe, or nailed to the bodiless impersonal. You are offering your prayers, kneeling down to whom? To the impersonal. You don't see his figure, you don't see his image there at all. That is what the Muslims do. Whose doors are shut against the universe, or nailed to the bodiless impersonal. A mind shut to the cry and fire of love. Everything is shut down from that thing. Yes, there is something very beautiful, ardent and all that thing, but that is not available now. Love, that is not there now. A mind shut to the cry and fire of love. A rational religion dried the heart. Religion has become stereotyped, credo-ridden, customs, rituals. You have to follow those things strictly, and the true worship which you have to offer, that is not coming forth. A mind shut to the cry and fire of love. A rational religion dried the heart. So the true emotion, the true ardency which is there, that is no more there the moment you follow certain rituals and customs and methods of doing pujas or archana or whatever it is you see. It planned a smooth life's acts with ethics rule. You have to follow morals, you have to follow ethics in life. Certain social relationships, you are bound by that. and you have no freedom, real freedom at all, you see. Or offered a cold and flameless sacrifice. Flameless sacrifice. You cannot kindle the fire. Your yajna is there, but there is no agni burning there. So, or offered a cold and flameless sacrifice. The sacred book lay on his sanctified desk. You have got the holy book, the sacred book, Bible, Quran, whatever you want to call it, it is there, and you are adhering to that. The sacred book lay on his sanctified desk, wrapped in interpretations, silken strings. Yes, the scripture is there, but then you understand the scripture by mentalizing the revelations which are present in the scripture. You are not really getting the true light of things from that. Wrapped in interpretations, you have only ideas and thoughts and certain fixed manners of presenting this thing. Wrapped in interpretations, silken strings, a credo sealed up its spiritual sense. There is, strictly speaking, a spiritual truth. There is a spiritual truth in the scriptures, but that truth is not coming out because you have fallen into the trap of rituals, of customs, of doing archana in a certain manner, do this, do this, do this, do this. But what is the real meaning of that? The revelatory aspect of that scripture, that is lost. The sacred book lay on a sanctified desk, wrapped in interpretations, silken strings, a credo sealed up its spiritual sense. Now that is what has been reduced to life. It is to this life has been reduced. Her native freedom is gone. The giant head of life, which would move anywhere, do whatever you like, but the moment this life enters into and the ordered space where the mental rules start operating, then her freedom is lost and she has to follow certain procedures. And this is the consequence of life entering into ordered space. Perhaps in that manner, the dangers which life poses are avoided. But then at the same time, the limitations are imposed on the freedom, which is not acceptable. A free soul which is there in us does not remain satisfied with that. So this is what Savitri sees now of life when she is parked, she is consigned into this ordered space where the mental rules and formulations now has started coming into operation.